We are heading into the last days of September 26, 2018. I'm Chris McCleary with your daily CIRF report. And the sirens have just gone past the house is kind of a backdrop to today's CIRF report. It kind of shows the confusion that's happening, and there's some aspects, and it's showing up into the dreams. It is clearly yang. I can say that. Clearly a lot of yang energy, and it's really going to come down to how do you want to use it. But it could be confused. If you get really unconscious today and get mindless, then there could be some big problems. Let's go ahead and start in with the astrology. And I have 26 down here. It's kind of a wake-up call. It's getting towards the end of the month. We psychologically don't have much time to get all of our stuff done, so there's kind of an influence there. It's kind of chaotic when it's not balanced. Balanced is a key word today because the Dreambot shows both sides as well, but the astrology is a little more on the negative side, if you will. And by the way, I want to let you know that it's not positive or negative. It's just a force. It's an influence, and how you use it is what determines whether or not it's good or bad in relation to what your life goals are and your orientation and your worldview. But the tendency in the astrology today does appear to be a little bit more contentious. So we still have the Sun and Saturn in a square, and that's the same thing as yesterday. So potential feelings of being overwhelmed, having to work harder, and power struggles potentially. Interestingly, we have the Moon also in a square early on in the day with Pluto, and this can bring up some deeply buried feelings. And again, when we are acting unconsciously, you can kind of end up in a power struggle or get irritated and do things impulsively that you didn't really mean to do and that you regret later potentially. So don't do those. Destructive behavior and power struggles if you stay mindless. So you need to be aware there. Let's go look at the Dreambot. This is the collective dreams, and these are important because the dream words that people are dreaming are indicative of where the collective unconscious is. And where the collective unconscious is determining what kind of world we're building and creating. So, linguistic set number 1 is streak ending. Now this doesn't have to be good or bad. Ending implies it's a bad thing, but what if you have a bad streak? It's ending as well. So I think what this is saying is that as we move forward, this bleak week that we've outlined early on in the week is going to come to an end. That's what the Dreambot is saying, so that's good news. And then we have three different color arrows, and the red and the blue are all yang energy, but I've divided up into kind of negative and positive. Let's look at the reds first. Ending, stealing, knife, weapon, dark, crying, shut or shoot. So those are more negative oriented words. The blue arrows are more positive. Clearly, speaking, looking, lights, start, open, engagement, excellent, and initiate. And by the way, there's a lot more powerful, positive words. There's, I think, 9 versus the 6 or something like that. There's more positive in this run, and the positive are stronger, in my opinion, and more clear. So I think it's a more positive oriented run, meaning the collective is a little bit more oriented towards positiveness. Now, some astrologers are talking about the void of course moon, and that means that there's no real big aspects. After it finishes its square with Pluto, then it goes void of course, and that matches with dream words blank and vague, but it's not real prominent. The rest of the run is a lot more significant. So after this, now let's talk about how to surf these energies. Stay with me. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss any one of these surf reports. These could save your life someday, especially your emotional life, and saving you from heartache later. If you know what to expect and know how to handle it, then life, all these influences come and go, and you're surfing the energies expertly. And it brings you positive vibes in the world. So it's really a lot up to you today on this yang energy. Oh, what we forgot to say is that the moon is in Aries. So it's a lot of fire, a lot of raw, fiery energy. And that's yang as well. So that's where, kind of the source of all this yang energy is coming from. Now, how to deal with it, especially with these contentious aspects. It's going to be very similar to yesterday. There's going to be some frustration. When you see these frustrations, first of all, you have to stay aware. So being aware of those frustrations, and then using that energy and channeling and organizing that energy into something usable for you. So for example, if you get irritated and very angry very quickly, then the anger has you doing stuff. It's a very yang type of emotion. And a lot of us aren't aware that we're even angry. So we just go slam the door really fast and then kind of regret it later because the door broke, for example. And so in this case, it would be better if we can realize that the anger is there, capture that really significant energy. We're not going to try to get rid of the energy. That's a little bit different than I think most people are used to, trying to dispense the energy quickly so that they don't get impulsive. I would rather be aware of the energy quickly and capture that energy in my chi development and organize that energy. That way I can have a ton of free energy to channel any way that I want to consciously, and I can do it mindfully. And again, I'm going to I'll put the card up here again for those of you who didn't go yesterday to the meditation. Try that out before the day starts, so that when you get in these frustrating power struggles or irritations, you can be aware of that energy and know what to do with it. And you will have already practiced that method. I had to use that several times yesterday, and I expect probably have to use it again today, but maybe not. Maybe I don't have to use that. We don't know. I'm going to let life come and go however it wants to present itself, and I'm going to react in accordance with my best self. So shine your light today. The yang energy is confused potentially, and it can be contentious. But as long as you're aware and know how to surf those energies, you're going to use that energy for your highest good and for the good of the collective. So go out and do it. Thanks for being here, everybody. I really appreciate your support. Have an awesome day.